Dear students, I welcome all of you in the another session of transportation engineering. We have already discussed that the transportation engineering is one of the core courses of your syllabus. It is divided into five major categories. The five major categories are importance, introduction, highway transportation, rail transportation, water transportation, air transportation, etc. We have already discussed certain introductory facts of transportation engineering. This is the continued session of introduction and another part we are going to cover. So I, Jay Kumar Soni, welcome all of you in the lecture of transportation engineering. In this segment, the parts which are related with the highway planning and development. Let us move towards the topic which are going to be covered. In this session, we are going to cover the topics such as scope of highway engineering, what is highway engineering, what are the scopes of highway, then what are the characteristics of road transport, then what are the importance of road transport, and what are the advantages of the transportation section and road transport. And last but not the least, we are going to cover the segments related to the necessity or the objects of highway planning and various classification of roads. Friends, we have heard number of times whenever we are traveling on the road. We have heard that this is the two-lane highway, this is the four-lane highway, then this is the village road, this is the normal road, this is the street. So you might be wondering number of times that in which kind of road we should use the term highway, then when we should use the term road, when we should use the term streets, what are the distinguished differentiation between all these highway, road and streets and various kind of roads. So this is a very important segment. Very personally, this is my favorite lecture because in this segment, in this session, you will learn that how you can identify a stretch of road as a highway, as a highway. So let us discuss about certain scopes of highway engineering through the mechanism of WH question. I have already narrated in the previous session that whenever we are trying to learn a new subject, we all must be well aware of three WH questions. Three WH questions. First is that what we are going to learn, why we need to learn that thing, and how we can learn those things. What are the practical benefits? So we'll learn the answers of why. Let us discuss about why. India is having the road stretch. I am just talking about the road stretch. It is of more than 33 lakhs kilometers on present scenario. Then in India, we all know that major people uses road network if they want to be conveyed from one place to another. So in India, the roads act as the major channel of transport. Then India is having, or India is considered as the second largest country as far as the road network is concerned in the global scenario, in the world actually. Road acts as the feeder line. They are used majorly whenever defense activities take place. The comparative cost of road network with respect to another transport such as rail transport, water transport and air transport is comparatively quite cheaper. So these are the answers of why highway engineering or road transportation is focused. So first is that India is having more than 33 lakhs kilometer of road stretch. I am just talking about road stretch. Then in India, road network act as the major channel of transport. In India, India is the second largest country in the world as far as the road network is concerned. And road network act as the feeder line in various mode of conveyance or transportation. It is also one of the most important segment whenever we are talking about the defense activities. Now, what is this highway engineering actually? How do you define the road and how do you distinguish roads and highways? So highway engineering is the term which is made up of two different things. First is highway and second is engineering. Now, what is highway? So I would like to explain this thing with the help of this sketch. That let us take, this is the ground level and this is the floor level. What is this floor level actually? So this is the surface on which we, as the motor vehicle drivers or pedestrian, travel. The surface on which we travel, it is this surface. And this is the ground level. You can observe that there is the huge height difference between this surface of road and this ground level. If the surface of road is constructed above this ground level, then this particular segment, this is called as slope, and in technical language it is called as embankment. This is called as embankment. Embankment means slope. If the surface of road is constructed above the ground level, you can see that this is constructed above the ground level. This kind of roads are called as highway because they are constructed at certain height above the ground level. So they are called as highway. And as we are entering in the next phase of engineering, we all know that what is engineering. What is engineering? I would like to hear the answers from you. Yes, you are right. Engineering means the use of science or maths to design and make things. What is the difference between the person who is pursuing Bachelor of Science, means BSc, and the person who is pursuing Bachelor of Engineering? Both belong to the science domain. Then what is the difference? The difference is that the engineers are concerned with the problem solving methodologies. They are deeply rooted with the solution of the problem rather than the theories of the science. So, engineering means the use of science or maths to design or make things. And this is how highway engineering can be clubbed. Now, how? How you can incorporate the knowledge of highway engineering in your mind? So, highway engineering, you can learn the concepts of highway engineering through learning various aspects, such as by the help of various kind of phases, by developing the knowledge of highway planning and alignment, by learning certain aspects of highway geometric design, by learning certain aspects of highway materials, learning pavement design, learning pavement construction and maintenance, consideration of certain economic criteria, and learning aspects of traffic. You might be wondering that what are all this about actually. So don't get confused. We will be learning, we will be talking, we will be discussing all these segments in our next sessions. Just keep in mind that without learning all these aspects, you will not be able to learn highway engineering. Fine. So this was the answer of 3WH question: why, what, and how. Now let us learn or let us discuss about the characteristics of road transport. Each thing in this world, each parameter in this world is having or are having certain kind of characteristics. Now what are those characteristics of road transport? First is that they are used for the movement of people and goods from one place to another. Second is that they serve as the feeder line, as we have already discussed. During war times, when the troops or when the teams of the various different segments want to go from one place to another, the easiest mode of transport is road transport. Then roads are used by various commodities, various kind of communities, various mode of transport. Which are those communities? So majorly all communities uses road transport. Then this road transport offers various kind of benefits. They helps the conveyance of people and goods from one place to another. Then the road transport saves the time, particularly where the short distance travel is required. Then The better law and order can be maintained through only good road transportation network. One minus point is this, that is the accident ratio actually. Because the road transport is subjected to higher rate of accidents. But due to the flexibility of movement, the people can reduce the number of accidents if they are well aware of the operations. So this was about the characteristic of road transport. What we have learned till date is that the first that we have learned is that the movement of passengers and goods are from one place to another. So the second point is that they serve as the feeder line. Third is that they are used during the war times. Fourth is that they are used by various means of transport, such as if we want to travel from rail transport, then we also need to get connected from our origin to the rail transport, to the railway station, to the airport through road network only. Then the road transport offers the complete freedom to the road user from one place to another. They particularly they save time where the short distance travel is required. The better law and order can be maintained with the help of road transport, and accident is the most prominent thing because the occurrence of accident is quite higher when the road transport is used. So this was all about the characteristics of road transport. We have learned about the characteristics of road transport. Now let us discuss the another segment, that is the advantages of road. There are certain advantages of road. The first advantage is that they are essential for the economic prosperity. They are essential for the economic prosperity. Then they are used for the national defense also. Then the another segment is that it promotes the national integration. Then they promote the nation, social and cultural growth also. Then comparatively they are quite cheaper as far as other mode of transport are concerned. So they are cheaper. They also provide positive commercial links from one city to another, or one village to one city, or one village to another village. So they provide commercial links. Then for the development, the economic development of the country, they play a vital role in the trade development. Then we have already discussed that they act as the feeder line. So these are certain advantages, such as they are essential for economic prosperity, they are used for national defense activities, they promote the national integration, they promote the social and cultural growth, they are cheaper than another mode of transport, they provide commercial link from one place to another place. For the trade development and easiest or cheapest transportation goods problem, they are used and they act as the feeder line also. So these are certain advantages of the road network. Now let us discuss about the necessity of highway planning. Whenever a good thing is going to be constructed, or a huge thing is going to be constructed, or whenever we are allotted a task, if we do not acquire any planning principle, then the execution of anything cannot be done beneficially or positively. So for construction of highways or road network, we also need to have proper planning. But before learning how to plan a highway network, how to plan the construction of highway, we need to learn that why we need to learn the highway planning. So let me tell you that in the country of India, there are more than 30,000 villages. How many villages are there? There are more than 30,000 villages. And majority of these villages are not linked with cities through good network. So not linked with good road network. The deficiency in this road development has contributed greatly in the agricultural part, in the commercial part, in the industrial part, etc. Means if the villages are not connected properly with other cities or with other villages or another towns through good network, good road network, then the particular agricultural products, commercial products, vegetable products will not be able to get transported from one place to another. And ultimately, the economy of our country will be deficient. So, we need to have proper highway planning for that. And for that, we need to learn the objects of highway planning. So, what are the objects of highway planning? First is this SEC. How one should plan the highway network? So it should be planned that the highway which are planned are safe, they are economic, and they provide comfortable travel. So this is the first objective, that safe, economic and comfortable travel should be planned. Second is that the future needs should be anticipated. Means how many road items will be required in future should be anticipated. Then the third is that the maximum utilization should be done once the highways are constructed. It should not be like that the highways are constructed but they are not used properly. It should not be like that. Then it should be planned such a way that the financial system of the budget should be worked out. The budget which is allocated should be properly used, not over budgeted, not under budgeted. It should meet properly the requirements. And if we are discussing about the financing system, then I would like to mention one thing, that whenever the planners are planning highway, development of highway, then they need to keep in mind certain things such as these are the words. They should consider the fiscal fact and the budgetary fact. Now the meaning of fiscal is that financial. Fiscal means financial, means whenever a team is planning highway development, they need to consider the financial budget, financial consideration. And last but not the least is that the financial considerations should be divided into various phases. So it should be accurately planned. So ultimately the financial system should be worked out. So this is all about the highway development and planning. I hope you have understood the concept thoroughly. This was all about that. We will learn certain road transportation aspect in our next lecture. This was all about this lecture. Thank you so much. Have a great day.